I believe, 9 o'clock. I am going to call the Floyd County Board of Supervisors meeting, open and, for October 28th, 2025. And first order is review action regarding, approval of the agenda.
I'd like to make a motion to just correct item 3 on the agenda. That should be the October 21st minutes instead of the 14th.
Okay, duly noted.
I did it as a motion. I don't know.
Oh,
if you
yeah,
wanna-
motion?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you seconding it?
Second.
Okay.
Okay. All, any more discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Nay?
And
Nay?
then,
Okay, pass.
and then I make a motion to approve the minutes as amended, or the agenda as
The
amended.
agenda.
As amended, yeah.
I'll second that. I have a motion to approve the agenda as amended in a second by Frank. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We're moving number 2. Oh, and I'd like to make a comment before we get going. Try to keep this going because today we have satellite voting, which is the first time that,
Floyd County's ever had it.
first time Floyd County's ever had it, and it's something, so she needs some time here, so we'll keep this going. Number 2, we have public comment. Anybody that would like to make a comment, to the audience? It's not.
Hello, Kayla McGregor. I just wanted to confirm, will we be able to speak after each bullet point, or is this our only chance?
Oh, no, our policy is any agenda item you can speak on.
Okay, that's all I have.
Yep.
Thank you. Any other comments?
I want you as supervisors to review your duties and what you took an oath in office for. And boy, would you read this and the rest of them can follow through.
If you could read it, because
Right there.
if you could read it, because it's your public comment, we can't deliberate on
You
public
can't
comment.
deliver
so-
public comment.
So go ahead and read it yourself.
Yeah, here,
Okay.
go ahead and,
Okay. County supervisors' duty is to protect, preserve the rights, privileges, and property of the county or of the residents in the preserve and improve the peace, safety, and health. And that's the one thing I want to work on. Welfare, comfort, and convenience of its residents. And so that's what I want to talk on today. If I can.
That's good.
Do I need to come up here?
well, yeah, if you got further comments, sure, yeah, I didn't know if you were done or not.
No, the reason I'm talking about this, the welfare and the health, I have what is called the Crep Lake on my property. I understand the former supervisors did tour it last fall. And, the darn thing, it leaks. It leaks big time. When we had, all these rains this last year. Well, a year ago, about the time you guys was out there, I plugged the darn thing. It had a hole that was big enough to put a car or a pickup in. I put 30 ton of dung ball rocks in it, not to plug it, because the state has tried 3 times to plug the darn thing and it it just blows out. And so I put 30 ton of rock in that darn hole. And basically I didn't want people to drive in it with their 4-wheelers, hunters or whatever to fall in it, because it was 10 to 12 feet tall or deep. And it's and if we have windmills upstream from that, which would be the west, it would be north of Rudd and east of Rudd. that from these windmills, if they shed fiberglass, that was my worry. It would get in this, because this darn hole that washes in there, I'm sure it goes to your well, my well, and any place else in the aquifer of our great state of Iowa here. And it just irks me terrible that we can't do nothing about it. The state will not do nothing about it. They've tried it 3 times, tried to plug it with cement, and it just washes right beside it, and away she goes. And if you're, as a board, approve these windmills to be built in north of Rudd, that dang water from there goes through my farm on the way to the Cedar River, which is about 1.5 miles away. And where that water goes, it goes down in down the bubbles of the earth. I don't know where it goes, but you can look down in there. I wish I had taken pictures of it, but I never did. I've got it plugged now, kind of temporary. This last year, when we had all these rains, this year, it usually took less than a day for it to go down. 7-acre lake water down. And of these 12 years it's been there, I've only seen water go over the weir 3 times, and once was this year. And so I kind of monitored it a little bit this year. I said, well, when the water quit running over there, I 24 hours later, I went back and checked it, and it was down 3/4 the way, but within 2 days, it was down. Within a week, it's dried up. So, and if you do allow windmills to be built north of Rudd, I'm gonna be back at you to help me plug that gall darn thing with bentonite or something that will hold water. Because why do we got 2 over here by North Springs. Water's running over them. We're still here a month ago. Mine's dried up. And all it is are weeds. So, but as supervisor, I'd like you to come out. I'll be back to see you. I know that. And if this windmill thing goes through, because we gotta protect the welfare and the health of this county. Okay.
Thank you. And
Thank
for the record, state your name.
Ray Stone Cipher.
Thank you.
Since Ray brought this up, I'll add on to it. My name's Roxanne Bujolica, South Trail City. Ray's comment about the fiberglass going into the soil. They know how much fiberglass from a turbine goes into the soil each year. And to rectify that, the blade manufacturers end up adding a resin to protect so it doesn't shed as much fiberglass. And so they add resin that has BPA's and forever chemicals in it. There's some states that are beginning to look at how much is getting into the soil, which obviously then gets into the water. I just think it's a scary area if you start to go into things where they're gonna start testing for soil. As a landowner, that's my most valuable, precious gift. And the soil, when you get fiberglass in it, you're also reducing the soil's ability to retain moisture. So comments on soil health.
Thank you.
Like to springboard off the comments about, I'm Steve McGregor. I'm from southeast of town here. So we have a lot of cars.
If you can, Steve, speak up.
Oh, I'm Steve McGregor. I'm from southeast of town here. We have a lot of karst areas and sinkholes down there. I wanted to relay a little information we've learned over the years about drainage wells, karst, and connectivity of wells in the area. It's probably been in the early 90s, they put a hog confinement building about 3/4 mile from our house. And before that time, every spring we would get fine, dark sediment in our, when the soil would thaw out in the spring, you get fine, dark sediment every spring. You could set it in a jar overnight and it would not settle out. You couldn't see the bottom of your toilet. They plugged a drainage well 3/4 of a mile west of us, or more than 3/4, and that stopped. That also stopped the mud appearing in somebody's well 4 miles south. So that is a really good example. We don't understand or have a good idea where all the subterranean passages are in these karst areas. And in Canada, they've been having troubles with vibrations in Ontario, with damaging or causing sediment in wells. So it's not an unknown problem. And this was reported by a professional engineer in a report he gave recently in August. Thank you.
Thank you. If I had any more public comment, anybody on the phone line? Comment? Seeing none, hearing none. Thank you, everybody, for that. We will go to review action regarding approval of the October 14th, 41st minutes, 2025. I have a motion and a second.
I can make a motion, or go ahead if you want, Frank.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
We have a motion to approve the minutes in a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. Nay. Pass. 4, review action regarding approval of the claims.
I've reviewed the claims. I did have one question that I followed up with Lexi on. She got back to me on that. I have no issues with the claims.
I haven't seen anything myself. All right, you got,
I think they're all in order, and I move to discuss them.
we have a motion to approve the claims. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Gloria. Any more discussion? None. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Motion approval of claims, it passed. Updates regarding various boards, commissions, and activities since the last meeting.
I attended the Area Development Court meeting. As I mentioned at the prior meeting, that I was in the subcommittee for awarding a grant through ADC to a new business. That award was given to Kelsey Vanderwerth on her business Groovy Greens. $3,000 was awarded to her. She's a supplier of fresh microgreens that are grown indoors, and these are available through farmers markets, through she sells to restaurants. They'll have subscriptions for anyone who wants to subscribe to get I don't know if it's weekly or monthly deliveries made. It's a woman-owned business. She's dedicated to making nutrition convenient, accessible. And she does this in her home. If her projections go like she believes that they will, she will at some point need a larger venue. But it's kind of a neat little business that she's got going there. I did miss the county social services meeting. I was so engulfed in what I was working on, and the meeting lasted 15 minutes. And when I chimed in, they were done. So I did follow up with the director, and it's just, I guess my only update is that they are planning, they need to have this closed up by December 31st. That's their goal. And I did provide her with our resolution as well that we did the week before, and attended a Central Iowa Juvenile Detention meeting. It was about a 3-hour meeting. I can clearly see how going there or participating by Zoom, when you've got 20-some people around the table, there's a lot of conversations that sometimes occur. We approved a lot of policies that they didn't have in place, and so it's a good thing that they're working on those type of things. They do have applications. Their deadline was last week for applications for the director position. I think they had 7 applications. They have a committee that will do interviews. I think they've got a couple that they'll interview. And hopefully get a new director in place before long. They're breaking into, they're, after the meeting, I was asked if I would do join a new committee that they're establishing, the finance committee, and I said I'd be willing to do that. So they're just trying to have small groups that can then present to the larger group on topics and might be more. So there's more involvement with the board than most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are difficult.
Yeah.
They're long.
And then Frank and I happened to be at the secondary roads training meeting that Adam invited us to. And got there too late for lunch, but got to see the guys and like it was a good training.
Frank?
So the only thing I had was the hotel motel mission meeting. It's a group that meets quarterly and they make a big grants and things to promote, to strengthen tourism in our county. They went through, they approved 3 grants, and one of them had to be for county conservation, and most of them involve public relations for brochures and things to make the public more aware of the service that they have. It was interesting, and they do have a balance in there where they can support tourism in Floyd County, and that's a good deal. That's all I did.
What I had was really the week before, I had the privilege attending the 16th, Thursday, out at Cambridge with the mayor Andrews of Charles City and Tim Fox, where we met with the CEO, and he discussed with us the planning on going ahead and expanding Cambridge, but we were not to say anything until the press had it. And now that that's been out, I just think it's a real exciting thing for Floyd County and Charles City for that expansion. I mean, it's a big deal. And we're very fortunate to have both, Cambridge and Soatis and that. And so it's wonderful. Anyway, really, to do that. And I guess that's what I had. So then we move on to number 6, Corbridge 457B, Iowa Retirement Investors Club, RIC, presented by Sean Monahan.
Monahan,
Sure.
nice. That's exactly it. Thanks for having me this morning. Happy to have talked with Morgan. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yes.
Great. Okay. And I've talked with Morgan and Gloria a couple times here in the past. Talked with Morgan about maybe 6 months ago, Morgan, and then Gloria. I met her at the ISAC conference in August here down here in the Des Moines area about some of the work that I've been doing to spread honestly a fairly unknown item that all counties in the state of Iowa have the option to do. Most of them don't even know that it's an option to them, and it really has to do with the retirement account. The 457B retirement account that is available that the vast majority of counties in Iowa do have, but they have it on their own county standalone plan. And so I'm a financial advisor with Corbridge. I'm a salaried financial advisor. Let me start there. So my job is to try and be as fee focused and most appropriate investment product as I possibly can for all the different employers that I support. And so my work is done. We are a member of the state of Iowa's plan. We are a member of dozens of county plans throughout the state, and I help nonprofits in the Des Moines area with their retirement plans as well. I myself am from northwest Iowa, small county, Calhoun County. I'm actually going through the process of doing exactly what I'm going to present today, of doing this process for Calhoun County and a few others as well. But just got Calhoun County was my most recent one, my hometown county, to join the state of Iowa retirement plan rather than to have their own standalone county 457B retirement plan. So that's what I'm going to talk about today, and we'll get into all the details. It doesn't look on the Teams meeting that I am able to share to present my screen, which is perfectly fine. I can talk through all of this without being able to present, and I will make sure I follow up with information. And I actually have already sent some of the documents to each of you. But if anybody is able to correct that on the IT side and allow to give me the settings to share, that's fine. If not, I'll just talk through everything and we can go through questions that way. Any questions before I kind of get started with some more details?
As for the screen sharing, I think that we have these very locked down and set up so that
Yeah,
they don't.
and that's fine.
I think I can change it mid-meeting either, unfortunately.
That's
So
no
I
worries.
apologize.
No
So
problem,
we
Morgan. That's
information in our agenda packets though too.
okay. Awesome. So they have. So does everyone then? Do they have the Rick at a glance sheet by chance? Do you have that in front of you?
Could we please talk about what is in place at the present time?
Yes,
Sure.
absolutely.
Sure,
I was
currently
planning on doing that as well, but go ahead, Gloria. Yeah.
either way.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so current time, there are two different providers inside of the 457B at Floyd County. One is with Corbridge, used to be Valak when it actually was founded. When it started back in 2003, the company name was Valak. That has changed a few times. It went to AIG in the about 2017 timeframe. Now it is Corbridge Financial. Corbridge is a brand new company coming right up on its 3-year anniversary of having an IPO away from AIG. So basically, the county has had a plan for over 20 years with Corbridge, just with a few name changes. And then there also is a Nationwide as a provider of the 457B plan as well. Both standalone county, Floyd County plans.
Okay.
Yeah, and so really then the big consideration there that I've worked with about a half a dozen counties so far, and I keep spreading the word on this, like with the work that when I talked with Gloria at ISAC, the reason why this makes so much sense for, in my opinion, every county in Iowa to at least consider is due to the fees that county employees pay for their 457B plans on average, and there really is, any small employer retirement plan. It's just, there's not the bang for the buck. It's small employer. There's probably not a lot of dollars as much as a big employer has, right? And anytime you have, less dollars and things like, there's just going to be higher costs with it, right? That's just kind of the way economics works. And that's the case for a lot of the counties in Iowa. They just have, on average, in my opinion, fairly high, and in a lot of cases, in my opinion, honestly, too high of fees that the employees pay on their investment products in county government in the state of Iowa. What all counties can do. Sorry, did I hear a potential question there?
No, it's just a cough in the audience.
Gotcha. Okay, sorry. I was getting some feedback there a little bit too. So then what all counties can do is opt into the state of Iowa's retirement plan. And doing so, they can reduce their fees on average from all the different counties that I've supported in the analysis I've done by anywhere from 7 to 8 times fee reduction for what they pay on an annual basis for their investment fees. And so I'm going to go into some of the specifics with that and what that can actually really look like and how much it can impact someone's overall nest egg when they would hypothetically want to retire and start using those funds that have grown. So real fast, I covered a little bit on who Corbridge is on that with that initial question, but really the idea there is Corbridge was founded in the 1970s, has been doing employer-sponsored retirement plans. It was under the name of Valak at that point in time since the 70s and has been a part of the state of Iowa retirement plan since the late 70s. About 50 years we've been a part of the state of Iowa's retirement plan and have been doing that and have been trying to help those employer plans to get appropriate retirement accounts set up for over 50 years. And so then through a couple name changes and Corbridge became its own publicly traded company again in 2022. So if you haven't heard of Corbridge, that's why it is kind of a brand new name under a very old, very well established company in this business. So the way that the current, any question there? Sorry. No.
Nope,
Okay.
you're
Okay.
fine.
Very good. Okay, so the way that the current plan is set up is that with a standalone county plan, it's a 457B retirement plan, and in the state of Iowa is a 457B retirement plan as well. The main differences between those different plans is that the small employer plans, like most counties in the state have, is an annuity based investment option, because that at one point in time that was kind of the standard. That was the best that was out there. Annuities with inside of retirement accounts, just think of that as, honestly, it's a little bit, I consider it a little bit of a cuss word because it is very high cost. I'm not a fan of, I don't have any annuity investments myself on my own personal finances for my wife and I. A lot of times too high cost, want to go more mutual fund or ETF, indexed options rather than annuities. Those are a lot of times where you get a lot lower costs. And so that the state of Iowa at one point themselves was an annuity-based investment option. The state goes through a process where they rebid their retirement plan every 5 years. And it was in the late 2010s, I think it was like 2008, the state moved from an annuity-based investment option to a mutual fund-based investment option. And every 5 years that they keep rebidding and improving this product, it keeps driving the fees down as the investment industry just keeps changing and costs can keep getting lower and lower and lower. So basically, if you compare, there's not a lot of differences other than those. That's really the differences between the state's plan and the county plan. Very similar. Both have Roth and pre-tax. Both have different investment options to choose. Very appropriate investment options to choose from for any type of a risk aggressive or risk averse conservative investor. All of those types of things are available. Main differences are annuities, small employer, too high a cost versus mutual fund, low cost. I'm going to go into a little bit more of an example of what those fees actually look like in a couple different for a couple different scenarios. But are there any questions on that before I go into a little bit more of some finer details?
Not for me. We're good.
So far.
Awesome. Okay. And so really the biggest thing that I'd like to bring, make people aware of is this can make sense for somebody, whether they're just getting going with the county or whether they are, nearing retirement and have kind of that nest egg built up already. Man, oh man, I'm a big believer in trying to save money on fees either way. And so this example is going to go through that a little bit. And I have a slide up here. I'm just going to read some details to you. And I'm more than happy to go through this again if you'd like. So let's go with example number one is a 25-year-old who works with the county and thinks they're going to work with the county until age 60. Let's go with a hypothetical. And they're going to invest $300 per month throughout their entire career. Okay. So they're 25 years old, invest $300 per month their entire career into a 2060 target date retirement fund. If you're not sure what a target date retirement fund is, that's basically where you just pick the year of the best guess of when you want to start taking money out of the account. And then that investment option is going to keep you invested appropriately with the appropriate level of risk throughout all of your career. It's going to keep adjusting for you. So this 25-year-old's best guess, they're going to retire in about 35 years, essentially with that 2060 target date fund. It's going to start out aggressive. When they go to retire, it's going to be more conservative. A 2060 target date fund with the current Corbridge Floyd County plan has an annual expense of 1.89%. 1.89%. Too high in my opinion. Especially if we can do better than that, and we need to be trying to do better than that. If this person, we just assume a flat 8% rate of return every single year until retirement at that 1.89% in fees, their approximate account balance when they retired at the age of 60 would be about $354,000. Okay, so that's kind of a key number, $354,000 with the standalone Floyd County plan through Corbridge. Make sense? Good to go on to the next and moving on to Nationwide next. Very good. Okay, so the Nationwide County plan, their 2060 target date fund has an expense of 1.35% on an annual basis. So it is a little bit less expensive than the Corbridge plan, but in my opinion, still we're too high. We're well into the 1% per year. that's not managed. It's not a managed account. It's not you're not getting anything really for that high cost. Sometimes people do opt into higher fees and because they want, professional money managers to be looking out for it. That's not the scenario. This is a very basic target date fund. We should not be paying 1.35% if we can beat it. And we can. But so that 1.35% with the nationwide side, again, 8% average rate of return, same exact rate of return. So basically thinking the exact same investment, but just a difference in fees. That account could hypothetically have about $392,000 at the age of 60. So we went from the Corbridge plan, the Floyd County, 354, 392 with the nationwide. Now, if we move along to the state of Iowa, the RIC plan, a 2060 target date fund inside of the state of Iowa's plan has an all-inclusive cost, all in, no hidden fees, nothing like that, all in cost of 0.22% annually. So we just dropped it by over an entire percentage point from the nationwide and over 1.6% from the current Corbridge plan of Floyd County. Just unbelievable cost reduction there. The balance at retirement, again, just a flat 8% market growth every single year. And the balance at retirement would be about $498,000. So you went from the
was done?
nationwide.
What did you? The state.
The states was $498,000.
The percentage of fees.
Oh, fee, sorry, 0.22%, 0.22 for the entire target date suite with the state of Iowa. Yeah. So a pretty extreme cost reduction. So really somebody went from, just by making one change, by just the fee, by opting into the state's plan and lowering those fees, you've added, if you compare to the nationwide plan, you've added about $110, about $1,000 to their total nest egg when they retire. If you compare it to the Corbridge current standalone county plan, it's almost $150,000 in difference on their total nest egg, just by trying to be a little bit more fee conscious. Any questions there? I'm now going to go to somebody who's nearing retirement and seeing if that, does it make sense for somebody who's getting closer? Should they even bother thinking about this? Does it make sense? Going to talk about that next. But any questions on that?
No, go ahead.
Yeah, you bet. Okay, so then now the second example is for hypothetically, now we have somebody who's 60, okay? They're 60, and let's say they're in a 2030 target date fund. So they're thinking they're going to want to use the funds in the next 5 years is really what the investment option is saying. And let's say that right now they have a $250,000 account balance with each one of these plans that we're going to go through. Annual expenses with the current Corbridge standalone county plan at 1.89% with the $250,000 is $4,725 that they're going to pay every year in expenses with that Corbridge standalone plan. That's the exact same expense across the 2060 and the 2030. In our plan, both have about that 1.89. The nationwide plan, however, has the 2030 target date fund does have a higher cost than what the 2060 does. Those costs are all the way up to 2.27%. So if someone had that $250,000 account balance, 2.27% in fees on an annual basis would pay $5,675 in fees every year. Last example, the RIC plan, all the target date funds have a 0.22% expense. So 0.22 still in fees. If they have $250,000, they're only paying $550 in annual expenses. So you just reduced, just for somebody who, even if they're going to retire next year, man, do you want to, and you're going to compare with some of these, do you want to save $4,000 or $5,000? Then absolutely, it makes all the sense in the world to think about going over to the state's Retirement Investors Club. And that's what RIC stands for. Sorry, I don't think I've mentioned that yet, but RIC is Retirement Investors Club. Let me pause there. That's a lot of numbers for you to not be able to see it on a slide and things. So would you like me to repeat anything or any questions there?
I don't have anything.
Then keep going.
Yep.
Yeah. So I think absolutely. I think the biggest thing there is what I tell every county every board that I talk to with these things is that if I were an employee at Floyd County, I would want the state's Retirement Investors Club. And to be honest with you, if I were an employee there and they didn't have their state's Retirement Investors Club, I probably wouldn't contribute into the county standalone plans until I had maxed out my IRA options. I will go IRAs first because I know I can get those lower cost, and then I might circle back into the employer plan because it's just too high a cost to stomach it unless it's kind of the best option I have available. So considerations here is to significantly reduce investment costs. Obviously, as we kind of talked about those numbers, another huge benefit here is that there is an ongoing, this will keep improving over time as well. And in every county, when they opt into the state's plan, they get to opt into the state updating this every 5 years too. None of that responsibility is held at the county level anymore. The state's going to keep rebidding this thing out every 5 years, and investment costs are just going to keep going down and down. And then another kind of opportunity is really is the opportunity for change for people to get them into an even more appropriate, an even better investment product. Now, obviously, the change can also be a hard thing as well, and I do have that as one of the challenges as well, is getting people prone to make change. And so that's something that I can definitely help with. And one thing I didn't say at the top is that I did ask Morgan and Gloria. It's like, I do prefer these to be in person, and that is my expectation on the go forward. This is not something where I'm just a virtual person sitting down here in Des Moines. No, I will be up there at the county trying to help with educating employees, spreading information, helping with all the individual questions folks might have on a very individualized basis. And so that'll be part of my ongoing services as well with this potential state of Iowa plan. Another challenge that I do want to talk about is that there is a small fee to the employer. So to the county, the state, when we've already got this quoted out, Morgan provided some information to me, and I went back to my state contacts. There is an initial setup fee to the state, a one-time fee of $100. And then there is an annual fee that the state has said will be about $150 to the county. And that is not per employee nothing about it. It is a total one-time cost to the county of $100 to set it up and $150 on an annual basis paid to the state. It basically just helps with some of their administration costs.
So basically, we're looking at saving on the fees, and as far as the investments go for these employees, that really doesn't change. You're just getting out of the annuities and going with ETFs and more mutual funds and that, right? I mean, that's
exactly.
basically, yeah.
Yes. Yep. You bet. The investments will change. The investments do change a little bit, but it is. I've looked at the nationwide lineup. I know what our Corebridge standalone county plan lineup is. It's they've got options for everything, right? They've got the very aggressive. They got the bond funds. They've got the money markets. It very well diversified investment options for any of those three plans. The biggest thing is the reduction in fees. Yes, absolutely correct.
And the 8% return that you've seen, that you can, I mean, I know you can't say, yeah, every year it's going to be that, but that's kind of what you've done on average so far. Is that correct?
Yeah. So, I mean, if you look at long-term growth rates of the markets, if you're going to be invested for the long term, and take some aggressiveness and things, I think that 8%, actually the S&P 500, if you look at that since I think over the course of the last 100 years, it's averaged a little over 10. So, in my opinion, now, are we going to get 8% over the long term here nobody knows, right? But do I believe that there's a good chance somebody long-term minded could average 8% or better? Yes, I absolutely do.
Want to make that clear.
Yep. Good question.
The new part to the county would be a cost that we would have that we've not had any cost before.
Correct.
However, I think because the employees will see such a benefit in their returns that $250 about is nothing. And I think that we could probably, where we can come out on this is if we can encourage more employees. The only cost you could do is for $10 a pay period. And if we can encourage more employees to do this, where we reduce is if you could talk about the tax side of this, that if somebody participates, that we're not contributed on that employee tax side of it.
Not
say Social Security tax or, because it's the
Correct.
Payroll deduction. And so we're not paying that 100% of the employee taxes for that portion that's contributed to the plan.
Yeah, that's correct. Do you want me to? Is there a question there, Gloria? I'm not sure I'm following you.
Oh, I don't know if you guys are understanding that
Yeah,
part of it.
Your question has to do with what savings is available for the employee on his taxes.
Well, my point is the county's going to have a fee that we've never had a fee before. However, when you have these pre-tax deductions, payroll deductions for these type of benefits, you're not paying Social Security tax, correct? That's right. right?
You do pay the FICA. If an individual employee is making a pre-tax contribution, they're saving on federal and state tax, is what they save on their end. Yes, on the pre-tax side.
Yeah, does the county not have, some portion of that buy down part?
If the county made contributions themselves, if they like instituted some kind of a contribution, they would be able to save as well. There would be tax deductions that would be eligible to them. Not if it's only the employee making contributions. That makes sense?
Okay.
Is that clear?
Can I make a comment? This is Candy
Sure,
Yeah.
Candy.
Yeah, go ahead.
from the tax side. So when you have a Roth, nobody has tax deduction if they choose a Roth, right?
Right.
Correct.
No tax.
And Roth is option on this as well.
Up to the employee to choose. If it's a tax deductible, the employee saves federal and state tax, but everybody still has to pay the social security tax.
Still pay
So
the FICA.
It's a little different than the IPERS then, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
On the IPERS side, that's where.
Exactly. So I think really the potential then for next steps, if at some point, the board decides to move forward with this, then basically once it is formally approved upon, we can make an email to me, and then I can let the state know that the county has decided to join, and then we kind of go through a process. There's a little bit of a project that has to be done, a little bit of a payroll project to make sure that the new plan, we're contributing to it the right way, kind of just a tiny little onboarding project, essentially. Those do take a couple months, maybe 2 or 3 months on average, just to make sure everything's working working appropriately. It could be sooner than that, depending on how things go, but that's kind of the average that I've seen on the go forward here. And then it would be all about, okay, how do I help now? What do we do for me to be up there, to inform employees, to answer those questions? Really, it's an effort of spreading the word to see who might be interested, and really try to help them as much as we can to start saving if they're not, and maybe try to nitpick the fees and make sure they're doing what they want to be doing with where they're putting their hard-earned money. So then I would definitely be a part of that effort. So.
Okay, it
Questions
seems,
on that?
yeah, no. I think maybe, we could table the vote on this for a week or, and bring it.
Yeah.
Agenda. You have to do it now.
No,
Oh, this is
it's
just a discussion.
just
right?
Just a
presentation
discussion
here.
on it.
But what we had talked about when we met last week
Yeah.
was that
Okay,
if we
gotcha.
could do this like November 18th, I think was the date we talked about. And then maybe we could kick this off in January. And so we don't have anything to have to report this year on the employee W-2s, that type of thing.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
I think we're
that makes
good.
sense. Great. Okay. So then if there was, say mid-November, there was a vote to approve to join, we may be cutting it a little short, especially we're going to be right up against the holidays to start in January. It might be more like a February start date and things like that. Just want to make sure we set expectations appropriately there. But so that would probably be my best guess. So.
That's fine.
Okay,
Just
that
not
sounds
this
good.
fiscal year.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We're not.
Great.
yeah.
Okay, great. All right. Well, thank you. I sent you all an email with a few different documents. One is the RIC at a glance. One is the level of services that the county would be responsible for. Basically, the state's going to take care of the vast majority of the ongoing services if you join the RIC plan. But reach out anytime if you have any questions on those, and we can discuss.
Yep. Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You betcha. Have a good day, everybody.
Thanks.
Thank you, Sean.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Number 7, moving on, Veterans Affairs update.
Hello, this is gonna be short. I don't have a lot. Things are pretty much the same in the office. I did attend fall school last week in Des Moines, which we do to stay accredited so we can keep our license. And I applied for and was awarded the $10,000 grant for this year from the state to use to promote our office. I also applied for some pork loins from Iowa Select, and we were awarded 4 cases, so we can do barbecues and pulled pork meals for the veterans. In November, we the third Saturday of the month, we have a chili feed for them planned. And then some type of Christmas party in December. And, see here. Also, right now, our total claims we got awarded is 375. And, that's, $638,138 a month. Or, 7.6 million a year brought into the county to veterans. And, that's really about it. Otherwise, everything's about the same. Our van's still pretty active, taking veterans to medical appointments, and we did pick up 2 new drivers. And in the last 6 weeks, we've got 500% veterans, which is a pretty good rate. So, otherwise, everything's pretty much the same unless you have any questions or.
What does 500% veterans mean?
They're rating from 0 to 100%, and 100% is like the highest you can get for them for compensation claims.
Oh, we're at 500%.
We got 5 of them in the last 6 weeks, and that's pretty good. It's government math, which don't make much sense. If you get them like at 90%, then you get them another 10 instead of 100, that'd only be 91, because then they're only rating 10% of your body, and so it takes quite a bit to get them there.
So it's 5 at 100%. I thought you were
Yeah,
saying
no.
500% of that.
No, we just got 5 veterans to 100%
Gotcha.
claim in the last 6 weeks, so our totals is really improving. Like I said, now we're up to $638,000 a month brought in to Floyd County veterans. And, like I said, we don't get any credit for, like, if a Chickasaw one or a Mitchell County one comes in, we help them. We don't, and that happens quite a bit is with our borders so close to Chickasaw County and Mitchell, so.
It goes both ways, I'm sure.
Yes, they help us out also, and so, you know, it's probably a wash overall. But, yeah, if you don't have any other questions,
Yeah, very good. Good report.
well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Have a good day.
Thank you. Moving on to number 8, review and action regarding the 2025 weed commissioners report. You're up.
Adrian. Well, after the last one, I sent out an email and they sent you a copy. Basically, it's however I choose to put it. So I did take out for what was the brush.
Yeah, I see that.
So all it is what we spent for leaves. And then I reprinted it and sent you the updated copy with the price on it.
Yeah.
We need a motion to approve this.
Yes, we do.
I'd like to make a
So I
motion.
was like, well, so that $17,000 was spent. That's all those highlighted areas that the 17,000 went on.
Correct.
Okay. Does that seem like costly for that? I would have thought there'd be more color.
Well, there'd be more color because that doesn't include some of the areas that we sprayed in the ditches.
Okay. Okay, so the cost includes,
On the map, that is just where the invasive species are.
gotcha,
There are other weeds that we've sprayed in the ditches to try and get rid of,
gotcha.
just to clean the ditches up.
Thank you.
Good.
I make a motion to approve the report and have the chairman sign it.
Seconded.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the weed commissioners for 2025 report. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Pass.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tim.
Okay, number 9, review action regarding resolution 41-25 for establishing speed limit for 185th Street. So, Adam,
Good morning.
good morning.
How was everyone this morning?
Good.
Good. All right, as we discussed, we had a request to review the speed limit on 195th Street here, west side of town. I did compile a report looked at the road. I sent it to you guys here a couple weeks ago. And now I have, drafted a resolution. Basically, the summary of the report is it is recommended to lower that speed limit west of Maple Heights to 35 mile per hour for the rest of that remainder of that road. Be consistent on the speed limit out there. And with the increase in residential houses out there, in fact, I just got a driveway request yesterday for that area. So I have a resolution here. Any questions?
Any
Sounds
questions?
good. Good plan.
Yeah.
I would,
Make a motion.
I'll go ahead and make a motion to, let's see, resolution 4125, establishing speed limits. You want us to read it or are you good? Just
Fine.
read it?
Yeah.
Okay. It's whereas the Board of Supervisors empowered under the authority of Iowa Code Sections 321-255 and 321-285 of the Code of Iowa to determine upon the basis of an engineering and traffic investigation that the speed limit of any secondary road is greater than is reasonable and proper under the conditions existing and may determine and declare a reasonable and proper speed limit. And whereas such an investigation has been requested and has been completed by the Floyd County engineer, now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Supervisors of Floyd County that the speed limit be established and appropriate signs be erected at the location described as follows: on 195th Street, beginning at Gilbert Street and ending 4,800 feet west of the dead end, established a 35 mile per hour speed limit. So that'd be my motion.
We have a motion, second.
I'd like to second.
Okay, Frank, thank you. We have a motion, second. We need a roll call. Vote.
Carr,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Rottinghouse,
Aye.
Passed. Got that done.
Thank
Move
you for
on
your work
to-
on that, Adam.
Yeah. Nice. The engineers update.
All right. Secondary road activities, maintenance work. We're working on, all those patches that we have on Packer, where we replace those culverts. We're doing another round of total patching on that, trying to smooth those out before winter. We have a little total patch oil that we need to get used up, so that's where we're at right now. That DD3 culvert, we're supposed to be doing a bypass culvert on. I'm hoping to get to that this week. If weather holds, I'm hoping tomorrow we'll get there. We have started this morning, actually, our nighttime sign inventory, where one of our sign guys, one or two of our sign guys go out early in the morning, like 3-4 o'clock when it's dark, and they drive all the roads or I think it's half the county. They drive the roads and check the sign reflectivity. We are required to maintain a certain reflectivity on the signs. So they drive it and visually inspect the reflectivity on that. So you get a report from county pickup out at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, where they're supposed to be there. So our guys are currently moving into the Rockford shop. We have taken possession of that. So we're starting to get all of our equipment, materials put in there, getting things put up on walls, getting things the way we want them. So, and also doing just a little landscaping work around there, putting some rock.
Have you notified Melrose Insurance on that that's a new building now?
I know Tracy was working on something, but we will make sure.
Okay.
I'll make a note here.
And Lexi will need a value for capital assets too.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know Tracy's working with Lexi on something. So. And then our guys are also starting to prepare for when we're starting to get out some plows, making sure everything's ready to go. We'll probably be starting the dress trucks here in the next week or two. In office activities, construction projects, our resurfacing B60 Matthew is supposed to be finishing up this week. They got the shouldering done yesterday. I believe the painting got done yesterday. It sounds like tomorrow they'll be doing the rumble strips, and that is the last part of this project. That would be a good project, a very good project done. And then, as I mentioned, Rockford shop, we've hit substantial completion. There's 1 or 2 punch list items that they're still working on completing, but we are moving in. And then T26 Heartland, last we heard, they're gonna try to be here tomorrow to start paving on T26 South of Rudd. So that should be going on here in the next week or so. hopefully, weather holds. Construction materials testing, I mentioned here a few meetings ago that I hired them to do some testing on Rory Park and, timber. It sounds like they are actually coming in today to do that work. I just heard that yesterday afternoon. With the weather, they're supposed to be coming in today. I have not heard if they actually are coming in today for sure. So it's one of those things, they fit it in their schedule, but if not today, it'll be within the next couple of weeks. Let's see, another thing I wanted to mention, it's not on my list here. T38 and Highway 14, we received a complaint from a concerned citizen. That intersection is dangerous. People running stop signs from T38 heading southbound. I have looked into it. I know I sent you guys an email about it. With Matthew's subcontractor installing rumble strips on B60, I've asked them to install rumble strips on that T38 stub as well, approaching that stop sign, trying to help out the situation there.
Yeah, I was even gonna, I don't remember if I forwarded anything to the sheriff or not, but just to see if I'm sure they patrol that area at times, but.
I've already talked to the sheriff
Yeah,
about it.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He says they don't recall ever that being any more troublesome than any other areas.
Sure.
But, and I've talked to the state about it as well. The state recommended putting the rumble strips, especially since its approach is a state highway.
Yeah.
So we are gonna get that done here actually tomorrow.
Good idea.
So, there is a resident that lives right there at that intersection.
Yeah.
Which is kind of why we've been hesitant to do it there, but since we have a documented complaint about safety on that area, we're gonna get it done. Office schedules. I am in the office most of the next couple of weeks, but I do have a traffic and safety forum next Wednesday down in Ames. I'll be down in Ames next Wednesday. Any questions?
I had someone that reached out to me about the poor conditions of the new blacktopping on the Avenue of Saints. Is there anything the county can do? I said, it's not our project, unfortunately, but have you ever seen such a poor road done? You don't have to answer it if you don't want to.
Yeah,
It's pitiful.
I understand why they're doing what they're doing. I do believe it will get better with time. It seems to have gotten better slowly over time, because I drive that road every day.
I know, yeah, yeah,
I'm not sold on the process.
yeah. Is
So,
it a different process than like we've done before?
it is a different process than we've done. I don't know the process enough to be able to tell you what went wrong or if it went wrong, or it just, I have received a lot of complaints about it.
Yeah,
So not a process that without looking into it a lot further, not a process that I intend to initiate here.
I understand.
I got
Yeah,
something,
not our road, so,
but I still get complaints,
yeah.
Yes,
the way it is, you know?
yes, unfortunately, as you said, we have no control over that, so.
I know several people are contacting the DOT to say, come on, you can do better than this, make them redo it or whatever, but I don't know how effective that will be.
I don't know if there is a way to fix it
Yeah.
without putting a whole new layer of asphalt on top, which
Right.
I don't think they have the money to.
Yeah.
The main issue is the money. They're trying to preserve that pavement is what they're trying to do.
I get that.
So, and I get that too.
I
It's,
need some time, but
I think it's a newer process that hasn't been around all that long, so people probably aren't as familiar with it. I do believe it will get smoother over time, especially after the winter, after blades hit it. But yeah, until then, I understand.
yeah. Thank you.
Mhm.
I
Thank
didn't
you.
mean to commit you to any answer.
You're fine.
Moving on to, number 11, review action regarding setting the date, time, location, and establish rules of procedure for continuation of third reading of the Floyd County zoning ordinance 2011-2 with respect to wind energy conversion systems and battery energy storage systems.
I took some notes on this on what, just kind of like from what we've had in past meetings, what some of the guidelines have been. And I would recommend that if any of us has any proposals, amendments, that we have them in writing, as they would be in the ordinance, that they be reviewed by the county attorney to see if it is viable, because we had several that had been submitted that were not legal to even do or in our realm of scope to do in the past. So I'd like to, I know I'm gonna have some proposals. I would plan to run those by the county attorney, and I think that would be a good plan for all of us. And that we would have copies of those available for all of us, the media, some extras for the public as well on those. That would be one of the things I would say. That makes sense.
I agree with that suggestion.
And then in the past, we've had public comment for 3 minutes. I don't know how well caught up Frank is on what was brought up at the last meeting. We spent a lot of hours till 11 o'clock at night at the fairgrounds, with hearing comments from the public. I would like to have that kind of reduced to if anyone has anything new to share, something that we haven't heard before, if that would be a feasible thing to do, so that we can streamline this somewhat, because we have all the comments from past, and to me, there's no need to revisit some of those unless you all think otherwise. But I would say a 3-minute limit for public with new information.
And then would we have an end time for that type of input? I say we start the meeting at 6 o'clock or 6:30 and go for 2 hours. I mean, those.
I think that would just kind of depend on how it moves. I mean, if we don't entertain old information, we can make it go quicker. And again, just a reminder, there is no requirement to have public comment. But I do want to have public comment. I think that's valid, but I only want new information.
Well, I think they're, as far as going, I have trouble with that a little bit, because like you say, how this flows, and as far as new information, I think there's a lot, so I don't want to stifle the public comment time, because since we've done that, we've been through I've been through mediation, and there's a lot of changes in all of the ordinances, that were associated with that. So that'll take some time, to get, I think, through that. So I wouldn't regard, that as being old. I mean, it's a lot of new stuff there. So, but I do agree that, 3 minutes is probably a good, time to come up and share your opinions and that. And the one thing I have a little trouble here with, in respect to this, we get into it says with respect to the wind energy conversion system and battery energy storage system. We didn't discuss anything about batteries, in the mediation. And in fact, it was kind of the group's thought that we just eliminate that for now, because that's a whole separate thing that should be looked at. And that was, I believe, also with a recommendation from John Robbins, which helped us out from NIACOG. And so when we go forward with this, I'd like to eliminate the battery energy storage, because nothing was discussed.
Yeah. And I don't want us to get into the weeds on that kind of thing, but that would be a written proposal that you would have to remove that at the meeting.
Yeah.
And that was originally part of the original recommendation from finance.
Here, it's somewhere else.
Could you please mute your phone?
Question.
Oh, yes, go ahead.
Please mute your phone. They're not talking, let's talk.
Yeah, that was the way it was stated, I think, originally, in those words, but since we didn't discuss it and everything, you know, my recommendation later, of course.
So I don't know if we want to have an end time per se, Frank. But, you know, maybe we start at 5 o'clock instead of 6 or 7, whatever we started at before. But I don't want us going until 11 o'clock at night like we did in the past.
Well, yeah, I have no trouble with 5. We got a lot of people still working, you know.
Well,
by
but
the
if we're
time
not,
it gets there.
yeah, if we're not doing this until, you know, my thoughts would be the earliest we could even consider this would be November 18th, November 25th, or December 2nd. Those are my thoughts for dates to throw out for setting that continuation. And so by those dates, I would think that the heaviest part of that, after harvest field work would be done. And, it should be dark at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Can you tell us those dates again? There's no reason. to me.
I think that the earliest would be November. We've been pushing a lot of things off on the agenda because of the election. So
Yeah.
like November 18th and
and
November
November is
25th.
awfully busy looking at Morgan's calendar.
Yeah.
You know,
So I would say, so the earliest again would have been the November 18th. Maybe that's off the table. November 25th would be the next Tuesday. December 2nd would be, the next Tuesday. I did check the fairgrounds website. Those dates are available if we want to have it at the Youth Enrichment Center. December 9th is not available at the Youth Enrichment Center. So we'd have to confirm that with,
I reached out to the fairgrounds. I originally asked for December and January dates, just so I had plenty. She said back the 16th, and I also specifically asked for Tuesday and Wednesday dates so that she didn't have to send me a lot extra, for the things I didn't think you would want them, but the 16th, 17th, 23rd, 24th, 30th, and 31st are available in December. She didn't mention any earlier December dates.
it's not on their calendar. I really don't want to go any later than December 2nd. I think we can start going. We don't know if we're gonna get it done today or not, but I think we can. It's not, there's nothing on their calendar. There's stuff after the 3rd or something like that, but nothing on there.
On the dates that you mentioned, we have a regular meeting scheduled for that day as well.
We could
we could,
have everything start at 5 o'clock and then we wouldn't, you know, we'd have a few things, you know, just instead of a 9 o'clock meeting, do a 5 o'clock meeting, get through our regular business and then go on to the 3rd reading. That would give a little more time for people to get there.
yeah, I mean, yeah, just as long as we get, you know, we don't stifle the participation, you know, we could have a meeting.
Yeah.
Before starting on that Tuesday. And you're,
I don't know if it'd help in the claims process to even start at 4 o'clock or if that would really matter. So probably.
so your calendar is free on that, right?
You're never free, are you?
No. Yeah, those 3 are fine. I sent a message to the fairgrounds to see if they're able to confirm any of those dates instead.
There's nothing on their calendar right now. Check the other building. You know, we've had a lot of people, we haven't filled the Youth Enrichment Center by any means, and if that's not available, there probably would be plenty of room in the Swartz Rock Community Center as well.
Oh,
Well, maybe it'd be preferable.
Kayla, do you have something you'd like to?
I didn't know if there was public comment or not.
Well, yeah.
I'll go with whatever you guys go for a date, except for I prefer not the 18th because I'm having knee surgery the day before and I've been with you guys this whole time. So I love to be there. Just a couple thoughts. I appreciate the 3 minutes to speak. I think especially we've had, like, these have been really long meetings. One thought I did have just sitting back there is that, the last really long meetings, we read all the emails that were sent to the Board of Supervisors. I'm wondering for time's sake, and somebody else stand up if you disagree with me, but maybe for time's sake, since you guys all get those and you have the ability to read those ahead of time, we could just read and acknowledge like the subject line and say, you know, Kayla McGregor sent an email, November 17th, and, she is stating this subject. And we just read through those instead of reading. I mean, some of them were 2-3 pages long.
Yeah.
And you guys already have those ahead of time. So I'm thinking for time's sake, we should really honor the people who actually show up in the seats and they can talk. And I think that way both sides would be able to talk.
We've been getting a lot of emails. Or
Yeah.
I assume you all are as well, but a lot of them are still the same things we've heard already. And so that's what I would like to minimize. If it's not something new, where there's no need to talk about it again.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard to be able to vet that though before they go up to the microphone.
I mean, the emailed ones.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's just a suggestion I have, is that maybe we just acknowledge that they sent the email, so it's in the public record, and then, we can move, I don't know, that's just an idea. One thing I did want to ask too, on the written amendments, I think that's a great idea, so that way everybody knows what the amendment is. My question is, I think through this whole process, one of the problems with writing it was that then nobody felt that they could make an amendment to the amendment.
Oh.
Maybe that's not true, but that's just how I felt. Like, for instance, if there was a setback distance, since when we make an amendment, the amendments were so large, for setbacks, because the setbacks are all on one page. I didn't feel like anybody felt like, okay, so say it was Eagles, that they thought they could say as an amendment to the proposed amendment, why don't we do 3 miles instead of 5? But that was because they had to be written and it was very strict that way. So I'm just throwing that out there as well, that, it's okay to make an amendment to an amendment.
Sure.
If-
Like we
if
did our
that's-
agenda today.
Exactly. So I just wanted to throw that out there, because I think that way that would allow some more conversation between the three of you, because there's a lot of information that you're covering. I mean, we have the original amendment, we have the mediation that I really would appreciate if we all consider the mediations, what they brought forward. And then we have the edited version. So there's a lot of stuff that plays into this, and I just really think that, with all those things to consider, we need to honor the people that show up. And, I think that would be the best way, because nobody wants to sit through and listen to pages and pages. And if people aren't willing to show up, then their opinion still matters. But I do think that we need to honor the people that show up in person.
But you do have to be respectful of that they may be, if we have it December 2nd, they may be having D surgery on December 1st.
Yeah, true. So I just told you that. Yes. Like, yeah,
I've been through that.
yes.
I did it.
Okay. Thank you, Caleb. Thank you.
So the Sports Rocks Community Center shows that that's available December 2nd. If you want to wait till December to go in, it also shows it is available in November. Go ahead, Gordy.
Mr. Chairman, Gordon Bogey calling.
Yes?
I think if all those amendments have to be reviewed by the county attorney, I think you better get him in the room before you set a date to see what his schedule will allow. I think it's gonna take him some time for him to go through those amendments. If that's what you want him to review those, I don't think it'd be appropriate to set a date until you talk to Mr. Pritchard to see how soon he can review those amendments. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I think if we give them to Todd at least a week before, he should be fine.
Well, he's had a pretty busy schedule, so. Are you emailing or?
Yeah.
See if December 3rd would work. Morgan's got a lot in November. And just we need to get past that.
I think that,
You said-
I haven't heard back from him yet. I could just call him. Any other, go ahead, Rob.
Concerning new information, when the emails that were taking place up into late summer, early fall, this is a whole new board since then. So I think new information should be brought in. Secondly, we should check the room over here in the law enforcement center is definitely not big enough. Is the Swartz Truck building bigger?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot bigger.
Lot bigger.
All right,
Yeah,
okay,
very nice.
Yeah,
that's it.
that is not available November 25th. It is available the 18th of November, and it's available December 2nd,
December 2nd.
or on their calendar anyway. Todd says he should be available December 2nd, 5 p.m.
Jim Jorgensen, I echo what Roxanne said too. I think you're having a tough time determining who's gonna say that's old information, that's new. Well, listen, this is new. How's that gonna be handled? Plus, we have brand new supervisors. I know you were here for all of it. I know Boyd was attending. I don't remember if Frank was or
I was
not.
sitting beside Boyd.
Okay. So,
I think people know whether they brought it up at the past hearings or not.
I don't know if someone else brought it up or someone else may not know if someone else brought it up. So, I just wonder how you're gonna balance that. Also, I didn't know when you plan to start this meeting. I know it was talked to 5 o'clock and didn't know if you're doing a meeting there at the same time. But, I think you're right. Most of the heavy hours of farming will be done at that time, and that's good. But, we still have people that are concerned about this that don't get off work till 5 o'clock. They want to have an opportunity as well.
Yeah, that's kind of why I thought, usually our meetings take a couple hours or whatever, but I'd say start the meeting like at 6 or 6:30, I mean, we could have our meeting ahead of time.
You're gonna have a regular meeting
And then have the regular meeting ahead of that. So
So
we could
We have a regular meeting 9 o'clock like usual. Is that what you're saying?
No, 5. Yeah, 5 o'clock. Out there.
In the evening, yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's doable, so we don't have to, duplicate.
What if we did our regular meeting at 9 o'clock? And then claims get taken care of, everything gets done with claims, everything's done there. And then we have a solid time that we're starting the continuation of the third reading. But I think you could start by 5:30. And because there's gonna be a lot of conversation, I'm sure. And unless you put we're gonna quit by whatever time, which I don't really want to do that.
No, I hope that, we don't drag out like we did before, but maybe we can run that a little differently than, we did. And a good, Caleb brought up a good idea on the emails and we can cut some of that, down. But I just want to make sure everybody has a chance that's working can get here, if they're working in Mason City and they're off 5, takes a while, to get here.
And no matter what you do, you're never gonna get everyone, because people work till all times.
Right.
of the day.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But just make your best efforts at morning.
Yeah, so. Yeah.
Frank's comment just now of you're not gonna get everyone. I guess I would request that if you have a public meeting and a comment period, is that you don't vote that same day on it.
I don't want to take that off the table, I don't think. Because if we have, it's not a hearing.
I mean,
It's not a hearing. It's a continuation of a reading. We already had the hearing. This is just a continuation of the reading. And so the intent of that would be a reading. You're doing amendments, you're doing action.
okay. And how
If it were a hearing, it would be different.
And how would the public be notified of this meeting?
Website, newspaper,
We have to post it.
bulletin
More
boards.
than 20 days, it has to be posted.
Okay.
If it's not a hearing,
What's it?
does it have to be posted in the paper the 4 and 20 if it's not a hearing?
It's not a hearing, Frank, so I don't know.
Okay. You guys know that, but there's a legal requirement.
With 24-hour notice. I mean, we can check
We
with
could-
legal
we could do
counsel
better
to
than
see.
that, though. You know,
We
you
can,
put it in the paper before, right?
but it's,
You know, we're not-
we're obligated to send the media the agendas ahead of the meetings. You know, I mean, if you want to add another cost to putting something in the paper, it's not, we can follow up and see if there is a requirement to do that for one thing. But it's not a hearing.
Yeah, right. But just to get it out there, you know, in the paper, wouldn't cost that much, I don't think, after we spend, you know, quite a bit. So just more for the public to know.
Got a quick question. Will the,
Sure.
any of the amendments be published publicly beforehand so we can study them, or are they only going to be available at the meeting?
Probably, I don't know, at the meeting available.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, if Todd's got time to review them and have
Yeah.
the time and I mean, I expect we should have copies for people
Yeah,
too,
I would think
to see that.
handy. You could look at it ahead of time, study it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I would, if you want to have the meeting at 9:00, I don't care, you know, in the morning.
Regular meeting?
Our
Nine?
regular meeting at 9, and then that night, we got to get started by 6, you know?
Any preference there, Morgan, on pulling the meetings together or keeping them separate?
I think making sure that we have a regular meeting at an appropriate time to get claims done and things is important to keep that done. Whether you decide to do that meeting at 4, so that they still have time to push claims out, or if you decide to hold that meeting at 9 AM, I don't think that is as big of a concern. Just making sure that that regular meeting is hosted within office hours, or regular hours of the courthouse, so that we can get those checks printed and mailed.
They're 9:00.
It's fine with me.
Fine with you.
Either 9:00 in the morning and then
Yeah.
have a meeting at, 6 or 6.
6:30 or whatever.
Which point? So, you know, so
Not 6 o'clock, but, you know, I think 5:30 even, but I don't think there's any sense in making this so late when people get angry.
Well, 6:30, 5:00, 6.
okay,
How's that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so we could do this at either venue, it looks like, but should we just set it that it would be at the fairgrounds and Morgan can work with the fairgrounds? Unless you think the Sports Rock Community Center is sufficient enough to space wise. I think it probably would be.
I think it's pretty good size.
It
I
is.
thought you said the one day it wasn't available.
25th is not. It is the 18th of November and the 2nd. Both of them are available. The Youth Enrichment Center, what I see, is available the 18th, 25th, and December 2nd. The Sports Rock is only available the 18th and the 2nd.
Well,
Just one comment from someone who's been in a lot of meetings out there. The acoustics are a lot better in Sports Rock than in youth entertainment as far as people being able to hear.
Yeah, you're right on that. The others.
Acoustics aren't good at Sports Rock really either.
Well.
Yeah.
They're
We
terrible.
do have some of
They're
those
terrible.
sound things. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Let's shoot for the Sports Rock Center then.
I think so. That's kind of what I was looking for. You're right. The acoustics are a lot closer. Sports Rec Center, 6 o'clock, December 2nd.
Just the girls in here.
That agree with everybody?
Yeah, and so we're all good with the other things we've said as well, that the proposals have to be provided to the county attorney at least a week ahead of time to review.
Yeah, he has to have time to.
Yeah.
Go through that. Yes.
And we'll have to work with our IT person on the technology side of things. We are still in the process of getting our new phone system hooked up. I don't know that that's gonna have anything to do with this. Right now, all we have available is for people the recording is basically, it's basically just for recording purposes, not for people to chime in. at this point, because we don't have the new system in place, and I don't know when we get out there what that difference might be, but we'll do the best that we can. Like Kayla said, people can be there. That's always the best, is to be there, because you can count on every meeting. I had one meeting that I participated in electronically, and the first 15-20 minutes of the meeting was technical issues they were addressing. I love having this and I hate having this for those reasons. Often technical issues. So I would make a motion that we set the continuation of the third reading of the zoning ordinance for December 2nd at the Swartz Rocks Community Center at the Fairgrounds at 6 p.m. I covered them.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion?
Chair, can I make a comment?
Sure.
This is Candy Brandel Larson. I just wanted to say that the Swartz Rock does have a TV screen, so that might be helpful. Also, the mediation report is not on the website, like the other versions, the red line versions and from the first and second reading or whatever. So I think that would be helpful if that was posted to the win page on the website.
Yeah.
And
Jen
then,
had access to that, so that will have to be Jesse needs to do that, or Jen.
Yep.
Or unless Morgan.
Morgan.
Is that fair one now?
Well, we need to get Jesse or
And then question for Frank, wondering if he has gone back and watched the recordings from all of the public hearings and everything that was available on Wind, for at least the ones he was not in attendance for.
Look at all that information. It's available.
You watched it?
Yes, I believe so. In fact, I think I watched it when, shortly after it happened.
Thank you.
and thank you, Candy. What's your name?
Roger Trent, Rockford.
Yes.
Good thing about the acoustics, I was gonna bring that up too, because a bigger building.
I missed that, Roger. What's that?
The
Acoustics.
acoustics are better
yeah.
than other buildings. Has been brought up, we have a whole new board here, but like Lori, she was always there for the meetings. Boy, you were Frank, I think I saw you at least one, I don't know if you're at home or not. And I'm gonna suggest that what Candy just did, that you go back and review. Because the dangers inherited by the windmills hasn't changed any, there's still the environmental problems with them, the safety of the citizens, and not to mention how they're a scourge on the environment, how they destroy the natural beauty.
Just want to stop you there, Roger, because it's not our intent to get into that part of it until we have the reading.
Just advising, bringing it up, so just go in and review that, and I've heard different things about who was in favor and who wasn't, and I'll bring them points up later, so go in and review, and takes a while to go through them.
And I think, yeah, it's a good idea to get on the website where mediation was. So we'll go ahead with that.
Because like I say, the dangers in these windmills hasn't lessened any. In fact, I've read more about them since the last, that third reading. In fact, I read one today, a new study by Venomite.
Get a little deep there again, Roger. I'm going to cut you off there. Okay? If it's new information, you can bring it.
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
But everybody else seems to bring up things, so I did too.
Try to
I'm
avoid
gonna
it.
continue to do it.
Okay, thank you, Roger.
That's right.
Okay, I think we have a motion and a second to
December 2nd, Swartz Rock
December
Center.
2nd, George
6
Rock
p.m.
at 6 p.m. Okay, any more discussion? Did you want?
Just, are you adding to that, motion, the rules?
I think the action was, well, yeah, I don't know. You want that motion to include the rules that we said?
It's in the agenda. That's the only reason I'm
Yeah,
asking.
it is. Yeah, I was thinking that was setting the rules and then, or establishing the rules and then
Yeah.
setting the date. So I looked at that wrong. But, okay, I could I could add to that motion that, as we talked before, amendments have to be written, provided to the county attorney ahead of time, 3 minutes for comments, new information. Only if you're agreeable to that. That probably won't go that way anyway.
Yeah, I think it's all new, you know, the mediation and everything, so.
Well, that's amendment to the original motion then, or?
So I'll call it an amendment to the original motion, well, yeah, to the original motion to have 3 minutes, scrap the new, nothing on the new information. And board has to prepare amendments, provide them individually to the county attorney for review at least 1 week ahead of the December 2nd meeting. Second meeting.
I'll second that amendment to the original motion.
Okay.
Okay, we have
Yeah.
motion
Approve the amendment.
to the previous amendment for a second. So we're voting on the first
The amendment.
amendment. Okay,
All right.
I
aye, okay. Then we have to go back.
approve the motion as amended.
And approve the motion as
With the amendment.
amended.
I'll do that. Motion for that.
Lori made a motion,
Second.
Frank. Any more discussion?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes?
Gordon Bogey calling again.
Yes.
It all depends on who is in attendance and what part of this discussion is old information and what is new information. Who is going to be the deciding factor, the deciding person, if they're the first time coming to a meeting, what is old information and what is new information?
We scrapped that, Gordy, maybe you didn't catch that. We scrapped that part of it. They just
Yeah.
present, they had 3 minutes to present.
Okay, so you're gonna make, that's why the amendment to the amendment is that there is no such thing as old information and new information. It's all information.
Yeah, they just have 3 minutes to make their comments.
Yeah.
Okay. That was my concern of who's in attendance, that there might not be such a thing as old information to any of those people.
Fair enough.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
You bet, thank you. And now we're ready.
Ready for a vote.
Ready for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Pass. There, get to number 12. Review and action regarding the disclosure of financial and personal interest related to proposed wind energy ordinance. And I brought this to attention that I think this is something that has been long overdue, that I'm surprised that we didn't do this at the start of this project. It's very large, lots of money involved. And I just think it would be a good policy for this board to increase the public awareness and transparency of what, you know, goes on. So I would like to propose that we have a disclosure of all those elected officials and notarized and under your office, Morgan, and what, so any discussion?
So this is written up as if it's a motion, is it in a second? We shouldn't really discuss it until
Well,
I mean, this is thinking, you proposed this amendment or this document that we approved it. But has there been a second or?
no, there hasn't.
I will say though, that's one of the things that I think convoluted past meetings with the wind ordinance. We've always discussed things before we've had motions. And we may have had a motion and then still discuss things, had an opportunity to discuss things later. So I don't see any issue with discussing this
Okay, that's,
or waiting for us, or if it's your motion, make a second, either way, I don't think we
Yeah,
need to muddy it up.
I guess my idea as chair is that, maybe it's a little bit more loose, doesn't completely follow Robert's Rules of Order, but
Right.
I enjoy otherwise there's no time that we can discuss anything other than right here. And I just think it should be more free than it has been in the past, so,
so
anyway.
So is this something that you've had an attorney write up? Where did this come from? Did you actually write this yourself entirely?
I had a little help, AI helps, and then going back through, past, seeing what other boards have done and everything, so, yeah, you can, is there a part of it that you don't like, or? I mean, do I have to have an attorney write it?
I'm just asking you, did you write it yourself? And you're saying you had artificial intelligence help you write it.
Yeah.
So you're claiming authorship for this?
I am claiming authorship of this, the way it's presented.
I think it's largely unworkable. I have 4 brothers and 4 siblings. And according to this document, I have to go to them and ask them to disclose to me the personal information, personal financial information. And I have to trust that they're telling me the truth. And they are honest people, believe me. But
Well,
I
they
think
should
that's-
have a problem
I
with it.
think that's asking a whole lot. And I do recognize that I have responsibility to not vote in a way that advances my personal interest. I can recognize conflicts of interest that I might have, and I would have stepped aside and not vote on those things. And I think that's the normal way it's handled. We don't have to sign an oath to achieve what you're asking you to reach out for. I've never seen this before in a board of supervisors, and they certainly have handled issues
Get to work.
close to this
It-
level of responsibility. I don't think we had to sign something when we approved the new buildings or budgets that we have.
You're absolutely right. We haven't, and that's part of my point. I think perhaps as we get into these big projects, and let's face it, there's a lot of money here, one way or the other. And I see nothing wrong with having transparency from elected officials. And this also goes to the Iowa code that this can be done. And not only elected officials, but appointed officials such as the planning and zoning can also be asked to do this. And I see nothing wrong with this and having transparency, and it helps, I think, with public confidence in, in their boards. And I mean, to me, this should have been done, and I'm surprised that we haven't done this in the past. And I'm just bringing it to the attention and would like to, do this because, let's face it. This question is all about ethics. And I just think that we can do better and more. And we should give the public that transparency.
Okay, so how do you expect us to, you or I or Gloria has, and we do have, money invested in IPERS? Have you looked at the companies that IPERS is investing in, that they're not one of these 2 companies? Next Terra Energy is publicly traded. Stock was $88.15 yesterday. They have 16,000 employees. And the other company, Energy, is a private company, but one of its largest investors is BlackRock, and BlackRock has lots of entities investing in them, and it would be quite easy for us to have retirement funds or just investments in general that would contain these in their portfolio, which is not easily determined. I tried to look at the IBR's website to see the exact stocks that they have ownership of, and it's not an easy task to determine which companies they are involved with.
I think, a lot of, government officials, when, like, for Congress and whatever, you know, it's kind of a hands-off thing when you get down, that far down the line. And, I wouldn't, think that that is, of great importance on this. I think if, there's, if a person like, you know, say for instance, you own stock in Next Energy, you know, that's, I think that's important. And, individually, that's your, you know, what, that's closer, you know, to this. And if you got a knife and you don't know what it is, you know, further down the line, I don't think that is a viable argument at all. What do you think?
Well, in the past, we've had, when I was auditor, there were situations where there were questions of involvement with pipeline stuff that should the Board of Supervisors, you know, they disclose it, do they have ownership in ethanol plants, that type of thing. And Todd addressed that and what needed to be disclosed and not disclosed and that type of thing. So I did reach out to Todd and asked him if he had reviewed your document. And his response was, it goes beyond what Iowa law requires as far as disclosure. I see nothing improper with the disclosure, but it appears unnecessary under Iowa law and typical rules of legislative ethics. In the end, it's up to the majority members of the board if you want to make additional disclosures or not. There certainly is no requirement that I am aware of that requires this type of disclosure. So with that, we all take an oath when we enter into this position. I don't think it's necessary myself. I mean, you can make your motion, we can vote on it, or
Yeah.
and see where it goes. But I have going with what our county attorney says.
But there is, in the Iowa code, there is a place for this. And county supervisors were specifically.
Can you show me that Iowa code?
I know 331. Yeah,
Did you run this by Todd?
no, I have not.
No.
I haven't. Well, I tell you what, since you talked to Todd, I would be willing to table this until, you know, we can get Todd, to maybe join a meeting or, you know, get a little more clarity on it, instead of taking action, you know, today. You know, we get Todd down here.
I hear what you're saying. Well, I'd like to share with Gloria, but it's the county home rule. It says that we can pass laws that don't interfere with state laws.
So which part are you saying what do you have circled here? Is to go to another code section?
Yeah, and that talks about can't infringe on the religion of someone.
Okay, oh, I see.
It just says that you do have permission to pass legislation at the county level if you don't interfere with state laws that are already in place. And so I don't know that there's a state law that forbids this.
No, and I think that's what Todd is saying, that if you want to go, if you want to, you can, but it's not necessary to do
I
it.
would not be in favor of tabling this time. Put it to the side. Okay.
No,
Would these be public documents?
yes,
That's within his paper,
yeah, this would be, yeah. Done, the public can see. Well, I make the motion that, we, have the disclosure of financial and personal interest related to the proposed wind energy ordinance. And, I'll make that motion.
Well, just so we have an answer where we stand on it, I will second the motion.
Okay.
To remove.
I have a motion and a second by Gloria. And, all those, pardon?
Go ahead, you're right, you're fine.
All those in favor of the motion say aye. Aye. All those opposed?
Nay.
Okay.
And just for the reasons that it's not been anything you ran across our county attorney, and what I ran across the county attorney says it's not necessary.
Well, I may then, I mean, since the motion was defeated, I'll probably talk to Todd and maybe, we can go further from this and, might reintroduce it or introduce it later. So that's, I really believe this is, the cornerstone of, ethics. So, for that, we'll move on to 13. Note the hiring of a dispatch.
Long time coming.
We
Looks
just,
like. Yep. We've got
so,
Madeline Calise. How you say that?
I don't know.
Calease.
Yeah,
Starts started yesterday.
good. Good. Okay, 14, future agenda items. We discussed today that we can never.
I've reached out to the mayors regarding the discussion on the law enforcement agreement 28E. As required to try to get that group back together in November. I so far have one reply, so I'll keep working on that. I gave up the options of the 18th or the 25th, to try to get them together.
Okay.
Just don't forget, we have the tip certification and debt certification to be by December 1st too.
Is that something the board needs to?
It's resolution, yeah.
I don't have anything at this time that I can think of. Okay, well, I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second. I have a motion and a second for adjournment. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Sure.
Oh, yeah.